Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. So today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about relationships. So whether they're romantic, whether they're friendships, it's all honestly the same thing. So I'm actually going to be a little vulnerable with you guys and put some of my business out there. So I am 39 and I've only been in 2 relationships in this lifetime. And when I say relationships, meaning like we were committed, we were like together. It wasn't like a one night stand or I'm just talking to this person or whatever. So there have been people in my life other than the 2 relationships, at some point. However, I've only been in 2 relationships. One of them was my high school sweetheart turned husband. And then the other is like my best friend, right? So 2 relationships, because I kind of paint a little story of this. And I've learned a lot from both of these relationships, a lot about them, a lot about myself, especially since I've been on this journey for like these last 2 years of this self-discovery, and like a lot of things in my life and in those relationships made sense. I truly, 100% believe that everything is meaningful, everything is purposeful. And in those relationships, absolutely, I was meant to birth the children that I have, and they had to come from there. 3 were with my ex-husband, and then my youngest is with separate. So I know I'm like, yeah, they were meant to give me these children. And it goes a little bit deeper, like in that. But that's just been it, the only 2 relationships that I've been in. And guess what? The number one thing that I resist the most in my life right now is a relationship. And I'm a firm believer of this for myself, other people. I teach it and I say the things that we resist the most is what we need to do. It's what we need to do. This is how we learn. This is how we evolve. This is how we grow. I used to hear this saying, and I might mess it up, where it's like, it's best to take like the path with the least resistance. I'm like, for me, I don't believe that that's true, because I do believe that when we're resisting something, why are we resisting it so much? What are we putting up? What are we protecting? Where is this story that's in like our head that we're like, nope, I'm going to resist it. But it's like, if you just face it head on, you'll be able to take your power back and slap the shit out of the fear and of the unknown in the stories that you're making up in your head, right? Follow me? Okay. So I resist it the most. Anytime a relationship comes up, you guys know, like I read tarot and oracle and I'm intuitive, but I also go to my own people when I need a little bit of guidance, right? Because I'm a firm believer. I'm not healing anybody. I'm not healing any of you guys. If you're my clients, I'm not healing you. You're doing the work. I'm just helping facilitate and I'm helping guide you. So sometimes I need guidance as well too, even though everything is within me, but I'm human. Ego slides in a little bit and that little fear is there. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to go and talk to someone, let them connect into my energetic field. What is it that they're pulling up? And 9.9 times out of 10, the things that they're saying is just validating what I already know. But I just needed that along the way. I needed that little boost, right? So I've had like 3 different readers that I really trust. They're definitely vibing, in alignment, all that good stuff. Say, I don't see anything about relationships. I even had one was like, do you want to be in a relationship? I was like, no, I'm good. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, because I don't see anything in the area. And I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, I have this mission and I'm really to put like my message and everything out to the collective and work with these people. So a relationship is like bottom of the list. Actually, it doesn't even make the list and all that. So I'm like, yep, you're right. All this good stuff. Then it's been hitting me lately. Well, the reason why they're not pulling up a relationship for me, because they're in my energetic field. And guess what? I shut that shit down. I am so closed off when it comes to a relationship. I'll be watching YouTube and there's some like amazing people on YouTube that I will go and do like a pick a card with. They be talking to my soul. My guides be like, yup, here's a message for you. But if I pick a card and it remotely says anything about a relationship, I automatically, the story I tell myself is, that's not for me. That's for the people in the back. That's not my message. That's for someone else. But I'm going to resonate with everything else. Ooh, all that resonates. I'm in alignment. It's rock my soul. It's feeding my soul. But you talk about a relationship? Hell no. That ain't for me. That's for the people in the back. And I'm like, I'm so resistant to this. So resistant to the idea of a relationship. So of course, when I go and talk to my psychic or my intuitive, or I do it and they're not picking it up, because I shut it down. They are in my energetic field and I want no parts to do with that shit. But why? So I want to say maybe this past week or 2 weeks, it's been popping up. And I'm like, wow, I'm resisting this so much. Holy crap. Why am I? And it's causing me to go deeper into understanding, where is this resistance coming from? Like, why am I resisting a relationship? Is there a fear that I'm going to get hurt? Then there's this fear of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to start all over. Oh my gosh, I don't want to bring anybody around my kids. Oh my gosh, like then I'm gonna have to introduce them to this. And then like, oh my gosh, and then I'm on this journey. Well, what if they're not like matching like my beliefs and all this story that the ego is like, shut that shit down. You don't need it. Keep going. But there is a reason why I'm resisting it. And it goes to some deeper unhealed wounds and things that I need to really get to the bottom of and figure out like, where is this coming from so that I can heal this. And the only way to figure this out and the only way to work through these things is to stop resisting it. It's to do it. Yesterday, I was sitting and I wasn't even meditating. I was just looking at TV and I heard that lovely voice that I hear and I know what it sounds like. It says, you need to start dating. Holy shit, what? So yeah, that's my higher self, my intuition. You're like my soul talking to me. And the way that you know and you can separate that voice is that it comes from a place of love and not from a place of fear. So I know it was coming from a place of love because my fear will shut that shit down, right? So it was like, you need to start dating. And as much as uncomfortable it was to hear that and to think about it, I know that I need to start dating. I need to start dating. And it's not, oh, because I need to be with someone. No, there's some lessons and there's some healing that needs to take place. I need to stop resisting this shit for a deeper reason, a deeper level. And I need to give in to that. And I need to start dating. Does that mean the first person that I date, this is my soulmate? This is my twin flame? I could just date them and go on one date and that's it. But I learned a lot. They were a mirror. They were a reflection. They were answer to a question. They were to validate some of my feelings or to not validate whatever like the case is. But my higher self and my soul said, you need to start dating. And guess what? I'm open to it. I'm open. And I put it out to the universe. I said, you know what? You're right. I am open to a relationship. I am open to dating. I am open to healing. I give in. I surrender. And does that mean I'm hopping on Match.com or eHarmony, all those commercials and stuff that you hear? No, I'm not forcing anything. I am just putting it out to the universe and I'm going to allow the universe to respond back to me the best way that's for my highest good. And however it is that that looks like. Because guess what? I'm ready to heal that part of my life. I'm ready to heal that part of why am I so resistant? Like, what is the story that's like in my head somewhere deep down there? Whether it came from generations before because it's in my DNA, whether it was something from a past life, whether it was just something that I've even just gone through this lifetime and I don't remember it. It's just buried in there. Whatever it is, I'm ready to release that shit. Ready to release that shit. So, okay, relationships, right? So I was talking to one of my clients' husband, and we were talking about one thing, but the conversation went a whole different direction, which means it went exactly where it needed to go. So we were talking about like his strength and like her weakness in an area. So I was explaining to him that when we're in a relationship, even a friendship or anything of that sort, it's for a reason because we are mirrors of each other. We are reflections of each other. So his strength was her weakness. But does that mean that he is right and she is wrong, or she is right and he is wrong? No, it just means you do this together. So I'm like, in a relationship, any type of relationship, whether it's romantic or even it's a friendship, we are in it for a reason. We're here to teach each other things. We're not here to just like get mad at the person because this is their strength and this is this person's weakness. And it's like, what the heck? Like, no, and give in and all this tug of war thing. And I'm telling him, I'm like, no, that's not how this works. I'm like, this is how I believe for it to work, is that we are in this together. So when we are in an argument, right, with a friend or our boyfriend, our girlfriend, our husband, our wife, our fiance, whatever the case is, right? And one person says something to a person and it pushes the shit out of their button. It triggers them beyond. They are all worked the hell up. They are pissed off or they shut down. They don't say anything, right? So then what do? One goes to this side of the room, one goes to that side of the room, one hangs up on each other, or one leaves, and then we're just pissed off and we're just mad. So the type of relationship that I want in my life and that I would want for everyone, instead of taking that route, the little cop-out route, we're just mad at each other and then we hate each other and all that. You say, if I'm the one who pushed your button, I'm the one who triggered you, like I'm to recognize that and say to you, oh, wow, I just noticed, like, I really just triggered you. When I just said blah, 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 it triggered you. Holy shit. How did that make you feel? So now you're asking your partner, your friend, well, how did that make you feel? Okay, well, when you said that, it made me feel like I wasn't enough. It made me feel inadequate. It made me feel like I can't trust you. I can't trust anybody. Ding, 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 ding. It has nothing to do with me and everything to do with a part of you that is wounded, a part of you that needs to be healed. That's where that is. But me being your partner, me being your friend, I'm recognizing I just triggered the shit out of you. So I'm not happy about that. I'm not being petty. I'm like, okay, well, let's work through this. Now I recognize, because we're all reflections of each other, right? I recognize that I just triggered you on this. And because you were able to, in a healthy way, express how it was when I said blah, 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 it made you feel like this. That is a story that you were telling yourself. That is a story that is deep into your subconscious mind. And guess what? We need to get rid of that shit. But now I'm able to have that conversation with you versus just going the other way and being mad and everybody's all worked up and then we're just pissed off with each other. And then everything else in the world happens is super, super awful, right? No, yo, I just triggered you. I apologize for that. But you know what? Let's work it out. Now, does that mean that we then go through this whole back and forth and all this stuff? It's like, no, because a lot of times we have to do this work on ourselves. But guess what? You have that other person that's bringing it to your attention and you feel comfortable enough to say, yeah, when you said that, it's one thing to be like, yeah, when you said that it hurt my feelings. No, 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 no. Okay. How did it make you feel? What were the thoughts in your head? Oh, the thoughts and stuff. I was like, wow, I knew I couldn't trust you. Again, it's a story. So I believe in a relationship, again, it could be a friendship, but you could be talking on the phone to your friend and your friend says something and just pisses you off and you just be like, I gotta go, I'll call you back. Or you say something snippy back to them and it's just like, no, you just triggered something in me. And every time that we're triggered by someone or something, it is our body letting us know, hey girl, hey boy, look, you just got triggered because that's something that you need to heal. There's a wound in you that you need to heal so you can continue to step in to be your highest self, your authentic self, the best version of who you are, but you got to get rid of that shit. That's why we get triggered. That's why we get triggered. But where is it coming from? Is it coming from when you were a child? Is it something that your mom or your dad or whoever, like the case, there's some story that's been built up in there. And when you put this vibe and this information out to the universe that you don't feel like you're enough, you feel inadequate, you can't trust anybody, right? Or the world is this, the world is that. Whatever this story is that you're telling and you put it out, guess what? The universe is going to validate the shit out of that. So if you feel like you're not enough, guess what? Everything around you is going to pop up and you're going to be like, holy shit, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew I wasn't enough. But that's not true. You are enough. Each and every one of us, we are enough. We just have some wounds. And I used to always say, like, these issues, I don't even like saying that, oh, we got issues. No, we're wounded. We are all wounded in some form of a way. And it's time for us to heal those wounds. So if you are in a relationship, or even, like I said, with your friendships or family members and things of that sort, instead of getting worked up and allowing them to let them push the buttons because it happens, right? So when those buttons get pushed, however you relate to it, or you get triggered, instead of like reacting this crazy way, step back and take it off of them and say, holy shit, when such and such just said this, why did that make me feel like that? Why did it make me feel or see red? Why did it make me so angry? Why did it make me go to a dark place? Why did it make me so sad? Why did that? How did it really make me feel? Start to question yourself. Step away whether it's in a text message, on a phone. Even if you're on a phone with the person, you don't have to hang up with them. Just say, you know what? Let's continue this conversation later. I need to take some time. However it is you best respond in that way. Like, you know what? I'm going to give you a call back. I need to sit with this. And sit with it. We're not saying like, oh my God, I can't believe she said this. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. How the nerve of him. No. This is all about you. Someone can't make you feel a certain way. Someone can't hurt you unless you allow them. And you allow them because there is a part of you that's wounded and they touch that, but they touch that in order for you to heal it. So this is what you do. You question yourself. Well, how did it make me feel? It made me feel sad. It made me feel angry. It made me feel like I didn't matter. It made me feel like I can never trust anyone. It made me feel like everybody that I get close with hurts me. Well, the reason why, quote unquote, everybody you get close to hurts you is because that's part of your lesson. Not for people to just hurt you. It's part of your lesson to forgive, to practice forgiveness, right? And when you can't come from a place of forgiveness, and this forgiveness will start with ourselves. We blame ourselves for so much. So we've never forgiven ourselves. Of course, the lesson is going to keep coming up in different things with different people because it's a lesson. It's something that we got to work through. We got to heal. We got to love on. We got to nurture. We have to practice those things. So when we come from a place of not being able to forgive and holding on to that resentment, that guilt, that anger, and all that shit, guess what? The universe is responding with all the people around us hurting us because it's giving you a signal. It's like, hey, Tisha, you need to focus on that forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself. What are you holding on to? Like, oh my God, I was so stupid. I wish I would have never did this. I shouldn't have. Oh my God. And you're holding on to that. No. Everything that happens in our life is an experience. That's it. And I am not downplaying anything because I can tell you right now, I had some hell of experiences in my life. Like, what the freak? However, it's an experience. And guess what? I get to determine how I have that experience. I get to determine how long I'm going to have this experience. And guess what? I also get to determine if I'm ever going to have that experience again. And if I don't want to have that again, I better tighten the hell up and learn the damn lesson. So, in your relationships, where can you reevaluate them? Where can you reevaluate the way that you react and instead of reacting, respond? Where can you accept the responsibility for the role that you're playing in that relationship, the role that you're playing in that friendship, the role that you're playing as a wife, as a husband, as a fiance, as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend? Where can you accept it and stop putting the blame on everyone else? It doesn't give people a pass for the way it is that they treat people or the things that they do, right? It doesn't. That's a whole different thing because everyone is battling with their own thing. When people say hurtful, right? When they say hurtful things to you, that's their way of coping with their shit. Again, it doesn't give a pass. However, you can step back and come from a place of compassion for you and the person and say, why did this just trigger me? Wow. This triggered me because this, and this. And then if you go back and have that conversation with that person and you are expressing, where this is coming from or how this is making you feel, and you do something in the other person, it clicks in that person of, wow, why did I say that? Where did that come from with me? What am I protecting within me by saying something that I intentionally said to hurt you? And this is the ripple effect. And this is how when we heal ourselves, we heal other people. When we heal ourselves, we heal generations before us and we heal the generations after. Because it goes back to this, we are all one. My belief. For some of you, no, we're not. This is my belief. So relationships are so important in our life. And I am definitely a firm believer of building meaningful relationships and meaningful conversations. And it's really been like that for me. I've been very reserved and very guarded and very keeping people at a distance. And I know where that came from. I know where that came from, and different things throughout my life validated this is exactly why I don't tell people my shit. This is exactly why I don't do this and that, because the universe was just matching the energy and the vibes that I was putting out there. I was putting those things out there. So I'm all about meaningful relationships and meaningful conversations and learning from each other. And I look at everything now, if something happens or if I see something on social media and it makes me feel a certain way, I'm not mad at that person for posting it. I'm looking at myself whoa, why do you feel like that? Why do you have a little bit of envy? And how can I make that envy into something positive? So instead of seeing that person who posts something and it triggers, it makes me be like, who does she think she is? Or oh, I would do that. so much better. Like, wow, how they have all these people and looking like, oh, wow, I'm so happy for her. Like, she is killing that shit. Wow, you can do it. I can do it. Because guess what? We all can do whatever it is that we want to do as long as we start to retrain our brain and stop with the bullshit ass stories that we're telling ourselves. But I look at everything now, and I literally do this. I go, why did that make me feel like that? How did it make me feel? Oh shit, I need to get my shit together. I need to revisit some stuff. I thought I was actually healed from that, but it looks like I need to do a little bit more inner work. I need a little more shadow work. And I start questioning everything and everything like within me. So that's what I want you guys to do is really like look at your relationships, instead of running from them, instead of getting mad with the person and just avoidance, right? Big no. Face it head on, but you're facing yourself. You're facing your fears. You're facing like your feelings. This is healthy. You're actually communicating with yourself. You're communicating with your significant other, your husband, or whatever. You're communicating with that person. And you know what? It's going to be hard for some of you guys because I know it's hard for me because I looked at it as being vulnerable. I don't want to tell you, hey, when you said that, it made me feel like, this is exactly why I can't trust anybody. It made me feel less than. Like, that's hard to say, right? But it's so liberating and it's so freeing. And again, when you start to heal yourself, you start to help heal other people. You contribute to them healing themselves. So this has been like a very interesting thing for me because I am in the midst of rebuilding. I don't even want to say grinding, just really rebuilding my life, this foundation coming from a different place that this foundation will be firm. It's laid. It's not shaky. It's built off of truth. It's built off of authenticity. It's built off of my heart's desires. And in the midst of this, what do you mean I'm supposed to start dating? What do you mean I'm supposed to have a relationship? And it's really been coming to me because this is a part of my journey. This is a part of my healing. And I need to let go of the resisting. So outside of relationships with you guys, what are you resisting in your life? What are you resisting? And whatever it is that you're resisting, try giving into it. Try facing it head on. Take your power back because I know for me, I lost it. There's somewhere in there. Do I feel like, someone's going to hurt me? Let me tell you something. I had this thing in my head and I would say this and I would be like, I promise I will hurt you before you hurt me. And this is after the divorce, right? This is after divorce. I'm like, because this is the story that I told myself. I was with my ex-husband when we were 15 because we had our first child at 16, children ourselves, right? And high school sweetheart, and then we got married and all that good stuff. We have 3 kids. And I'm like, yo, if it didn't work out with my high school sweetheart, how the hell is it going to work out with anyone else? Literally, that was the story. And we got divorced in 2003 because it was shortly after I got out the military. And we got divorced. So my story, that was my story. If it didn't work out with my high school sweetheart, like, why would it work out with anyone else? That doesn't even make any sense. That was literally the story that I told myself. So from that point on, it was like, that's what I was putting out to the universe. So it was like, hell no to a relationship. I'm not getting close to anyone. I'll kick it with someone, like whatever like the case is, but there's no way that I am getting close to anyone. And I have one of my male friends, like my homeboy, he used to be like, damn, shorty, who hurt you? I was like, nobody did, but I'm going to keep it that way. And that is what I used to say. And it was this whole story. It was this whole story that I was telling myself because there was something that was triggered. And when I look back at it, it wasn't the relationship that I was in. That wasn't it. It goes deeper. It wasn't like, oh my God, because my ex-husband broke my heart and he did this, he did that. No, that wasn't the case at all. Not even. But it was something else. And because we did separate, that triggered it. That triggered something that I had never healed, something that I had never knew that was wounded going from a younger age. I do know that part of it has to do with not having my dad in my life. And I also told the story of myself and put it out there. I don't have daddy issues. I don't know, all these people around here and they doing all these things. I don't have any daddy issues, but I did have daddy issues. It just showed up different from me. It wasn't like what society says, like, oh, you have daddy issues. This is why you're out sleeping around. And this is why you can't keep in this relationship. And this is why you can't do this. All those things that society like says when you have daddy issues, those weren't my issues. I did have them. They just showed up different. And I didn't recognize that I had them until I was 35 years old. 35 years old is when I started recognizing, like, holy shit, maybe I do have daddy issues. Oh my God, this all makes all the sense. And it's been very, very, very interesting. So Can't believe I just shared all this with like you guys. This is how I know that I am evolving and growing. And any of you that are like my close friends and that really know me, you're probably like, who the hell is this girl? She brand new. She on this podcast putting all her business out there. Yes, I am. And guess what? Because it's not about me anymore. It's not about me anymore. I have a voice. I have a message. I have a story. And I am meant to put it out here to help guide and help that healing process with other people while I'm healing myself. So I look back at my life. I'm 39 and I have went through some shit. And I had a whole bunch of different things. I was like, my life has been very interesting, but I understand it now. When you do a lot of self-reflecting and you are on this self-discovery journey and you're understanding that there is more to life than just like your current circumstance, and that current circumstance does not define who you are, and you really start looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, this is why I went through all those different things. I went through all those different things so I can be here on this platform and share them. When I meet someone in public and boom, I'm guided to share a part of me that's going to help them. That's why I went through all these different experiences, right? And all these different experiences in life because I'm relatable. I'm very much relatable. And I will always say this, my number one gift, because we are all born with them. We are all born with our unique gifts. My number one gift is my ability to connect to others. And this is why strangers tell me their business. This is why people come to me for the advice or just a different perspective or whatever, because I believe that our greatest teacher is life experience. That's the greatest teacher for me. And I believe that's what it is for everyone, is experiencing. So everything that I talk about, everything that I teach, any advice, any guidance, anything that I give is through experience. It's absolutely through experience. So, yeah, that was a lot. So, yeah, do a little bit of reflecting. Do a little bit of reflecting and do a lot more responding versus reacting. And then make it about you in that instance and take it off of that person and point it back to yourself and understand you are being triggered for a reason because there is a part of you that is wounded and it needs to be healed. And guess what, guys? It's time for us to step the hell up and heal ourselves. Again, I am so happy that you took time to hop on this podcast. I hope that something from this resonated with you. If this episode or any of my episodes resonated with you, I would love for you to leave me a review in iTunes. One, it's great because it lets me know like the content and what it is that you guys want to hear. And then two, it also helps me come up in like the list so that way that I can be able to reach other people in the masses and get like the message out by sharing my story and all my wisdom and knowledge that I've learned like along the way. So also, if you guys send me a review, write a review. I would love to give you a copy of my gratitude journal or my hypnosis audio. And, for you taking the time out to put your lovely words out there. All I need you to do is take a screenshot that shows that you put that review. Email it to Tisha at #certified.com. That's HASHTAGCERTIFIED.com. So that's Tisha at #certified.com. In the subject line, just say, please send me my gratitude journal or please send me the hypnosis audio. Once you send that to me, I will go ahead and send whichever one it is that you're choosing, because you get to choose if you want the gratitude journal or if you want the hypnosis audio. Also, guys, I still have another spot. As of the time of recording this, I have another spot for the spiritual retreat. If you want to come, it's in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can visit my website, www.certified.com. Click on events and classes, and you will get all the information on there. I've also opened up 8 spots, not for the full weekend of staying there, but just the one day on that Saturday. And this is for people who, like, if you're local in the area or like the surrounding and you really can't come for the whole thing, but you can come on Saturday. I will have one of my facilitators there, Jamie Dawn from jamiedawn.com. You can look her up. She's amazing. She's like one of my go-to people. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, oh my God, you think that I'm amazing? Wait till you meet like my person. Like, she's super amazing as well in her own like way. And she's going to be facilitating like a lot on that Saturday. So I will have tickets for there too. So it might be up on the website now. If not, and you are interested in coming for the day in Scottsdale, Arizona on there, and it's not on the website, just shoot me an email to Tisha or go into the contact form on my website, #certified.com. Also, I still have room for Egypt. That's not on my website. That is something that you can just also send go into the contact and say, hey, I want some information on the Egypt trip. Egypt is in March, and I will email you about that as well. So again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to me. As always, I am sending love and light to each and every one of you. If you have something that is going on in your life and you need for me to hold space for you, I would love to hold space for you. Again, shoot me a message, an email, or if you follow me on Instagram. I'm not always on social media, but I will check in. Best way, honestly, is through email. But however it is that you are led to, connect with me, reach out and just say, hey, I'm going through some things and I need you to hold some space. And I will hold this space and I will send you some good energy and vibes so that way we could all get through everything that we are going through in life. So as always, thank you so much. Love you guys. Until next time, bye. Thanks for tuning in to #Certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram @ItIsTisha. And if you want to be a part of the #Certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #Certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.